You're telling me the fair is canceled this year? I mean, I wasn't gonna go anyways, but I want some deep fried Oreos. You know what? Let's just make them. Okay, now in a big ass bowl, we're gonna combine flour, sugar, baking powder, and a little bit of salt. Mix that up, and now we're gonna add our wet ingredients, okay? A little bit of almond milk, 1 singular egg, and a touch of vegetable oil. And that is how you make pancake mix from scratch, okay? We're missing one key ingredient though, alright? And that's some Oreos. Once you have your cookie and pancake mix, it's time to go. Take your cookie and dunk it into the batter, and then throw it straight into the hot oil. Bloop. Also, these cook hella fast, about 2 minutes or until they're golden brown like this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, take them out, let them vibe on the side for a little bit, and repeat for how many cookies that you want to eat. I mean, look at all these Oreos. You literally have enough to eat until you pass out. Plate it, add some parsley, and that is pretty much it. Okay, but what I did though was I ate these while listening to sounds of roller coasters, and no joke, it actually felt like I was at the fair. This is DIY virtual reality. On today's menu, we're making ice cream crepes. All you really need is the batter, which is a combination of flour, eggs, a little bit of vegetable oil, almond milk, a little of salt, and to really spice things up and bring in that flavor, we're gonna add some vanilla extract. Give that a really good mix, and now it's time to cook, okay? Get yourself a small pan on low heat, and we're just gonna straight butter the surface area, and from that point, take a ladle full of batter, just pour it in the pan, you know? Really simple stuff, you know, from a professional standpoint. The best advice I can give you, honestly, is to fill the bottom of the pan with batter at one time. Check up on it, and once you get a nice brown like this, we're basically gonna flip it over onto a plate. Let's go! My first crepe! Now from this point, you could really just do whatever you want. I'm just gonna fill mine up with some Nutella, bananas, and that's how you make the ugliest crepe I've ever seen in my goddamn life, okay? Hideous. We're just gonna fix that by adding powdered sugar, strawberries, chocolate syrup, and vanilla ice cream. Let's go! This is hands down my favorite dessert in the entire world. Perfect for this weather, okay, because it is getting very hot. I don't even have an AC. On today's menu, we're making lumpias. We're gonna start off with ground chicken, green onion, and some garlic. Dude, look at this big ass carrot. We're gonna grate that and throw it in, as well as some water chestnuts, mint. Now this is really just there for the texture, you know, it's a little bit crunchy. Moving on, we're gonna season it with a little bit of pepper, salt, and soy sauce. Give that a mix until you get a concoction that looks like this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to wrap. And there's a lot of different techniques of how to approach this. You can cut the wrappers into triangles, and then roll it like a typical egg roll, and then seal it off with some egg white. Pros and cons, it is very beautiful, but it is time consuming. I would honestly just recommend you roll it like a carpet and cut it in half. Okay, either way you roll it, your back is going to start hurting. How am I 21 years old with back issues, huh? Anyways, we're gonna fry these in some hot oil until they're golden brown, and you're gonna want to do this in batches, okay? Do not just plop the whole plate of lumpias inside. Once you're done, plate it, add a little bit of parsley, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Serve it with some sweet and sour sauce or banana ketchup, but I would rather eat a jean jacket before I eat ketchup. On today's menu, we're making a Philly cheesesteak. The first thing that we're gonna do is get ourselves some ribeye steak, and we're gonna cut that into slices, okay? Very thin, like this. Moving on, slice up 1 yellow onion. Now, ever since I was a young little boy, I always wondered, who eats raw onion? You can literally caramelize it with salt, oil, and on low heat. For example, like this. Now, this process will take very long, up to 1 hour. We're gonna multitask and work on our bread, okay? Soften butter with a little bit of garlic, and just spread that all over a hoagie roll, or whichever roll of bread that you have. We're gonna toast it up on a pan. Ooh, okay, back to our onions. Once they're caramelized, take it out, and now it's time to work on our steak, which we're gonna cook on a very high heat. Look at all that seasoning. JK, we're gonna season it with salt and pepper. We're literally doing the bare minimum on the seasoning today. Throw in our onions, and then top it off with some provolone circle cheese. Boom, straight into our toasted buns. And the most important ingredient, parsley. By the way, has anyone heard of the murder hornets? What? Come on, I just hope they don't get my ex that lives at 123 Main Street on the 2nd floor, 3rd building. On today's menu, we're making Swedish meatballs. In a big ass bowl, we're gonna combine breadcrumbs, cow milk, heavy whipping cream, 1 singular egg, a little bit of garlic, pepper, salt, and finally all-purpose seasoning, which I have never used before in my life. Anyways, give that a good mix and let it vibe out for about 10 minutes while we cut an onion. What we want is really small, fine pieces, okay? Toss them in there along with some parsley. And lastly, but not the leastly, we're gonna add ground beef and pork. My store only had 95% fat-free pork, which I would not recommend because it tastes tastes like a Timberland boot. Anyways, mix everything together, and we're gonna take our meat mixture and roll it into the size of a golf ball. Moving on, get yourself a pan on high heat, throw in some olive oil and a little bit of butter, and we're just gonna basically brown our meatballs on all sides, okay? I mean, just look at that crust. Yes! Once you're ready to eat, throw it onto a plate, and you can eat it plain or you can serve it with some gravy, and then add some parsley. I had to make this because I miss going to IKEA, eating the meatballs, and buying furniture that would eventually break in a few months. I miss. On today's menu, we're making snickerdoodle cookies. My favorite. Mix together some flour, baking soda, and salt, as well as some cream of tartare, which I've never used before. Isn't tartare the sauce that you eat with calamari, right? Anyways, in another bowl, we're gonna work on our wet ingredients. Okay, some melted butter and sugar that we're gonna mix. Honestly, you can just stop right here and eat this with some bread. But no, add 1 egg and some vanilla extract. Give that a good mix, and now we're just gonna combine the 2 bowls together. And do it very slowly until you get a nice dough like this one. Alright, very nice. Very buoyant. And before baking, we're gonna let this vibe in the fridge for 30 minutes minimum. Alright, once you're ready though, come back and roll your dough into the size of a golf ball and dunk them into a cinnamon sugar mix. No chocolate, nothing extra, alright? This is very basic. Bake in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. And there you go. You know, that's pretty much it. Finish off with some parsley. JK. I saw a girl tweet out that she can't date guys that eat dessert because that's a female thing to do. You're telling me as a man, I'm not even allowed to eat 1 cookie? Come on. According to today's menu, we're making elote. The first thing that you want to do is to get yourself some corn. I opened it and I realized that somebody cut off the tip of my corn? Why would you cut the corn? I like it when it's pointy. Anyways, we're gonna remove the husk and the little hairs until the corn is nice and clean like this. Give them a little wash and we're gonna throw them into some boiling water, I think for like 5 minutes. And corn cooks really fast, so once they're done, take it out and just wait for them to cool down, okay? Once they're cool, we're gonna take some to-go chopsticks and just take out all of your frustrations out on the corn, alright? Stab it! Moving on, we're gonna brush our corn with some butter as well as some mayonnaise, and remember to put a lot, okay? This is not the right time to be shy. Finish it off with some cotija cheese, and that's pretty much it. Now this is pretty much the most basic version, alright? I like this one, but you can add like chili powder or tapatio. The best way is to eat it with a lot of ketchup. Ah, hell no! Yeah, I mean, maybe add some more cheese, some lime, cilantro. It really is up to you. All I know is tengo elote muy delicioso. Esta chinito habla español muy bien? Sí o sí? Aha.